Good morning. My name is Evangelist Mary Ward Cater. I was led this morning to get up early and to do a video for you, the people, on scam and scamming. On yesterday, which was December the 23rd, I had a call that came in to me. Now, for me, I would say, thank God it came in to me because God know that I would share it with you. When the caller called about 1 o'clock, the caller said that is this Mary Ward Cater? For the first time, they had my name correct, and I said yes. They gave me my address where I live at, and they said that you were supposed to be in federal court to do a grand jury this morning at 9 o'clock, and that you were supposed to at 9:20 when you did not show up, the judge issued a he did not say a bench warrant, but a issued um, a paper, two citations. He gave me the citation numbers after talking for a little while. And he understood that, okay, you kind of understand the procedures. He was correct. I did understand. So he said that we have to contact you by order of the judge to find out what happened, your whereabouts, and why you did not show up. Well, having have worked in a court of law and the highest trial court for nearly 20 years, I knew the procedures. He was correct in a sense of speaking that we do have to find out your whereabouts and why you didn't show up. I remember working a jury trial and the person didn't show up. And my job was to get the papers to the jury administration so that they can follow the orders of the judge and find out where was that person. This particular person was home and forgot to show up. But the job of the deputy is to locate that person, find out what some people have wellness visits. So I have a lot of people that call in for wellness visits. Some people, it's just different things. So I knew that the person, the caller, was sort of giving me the right information right there. And so the person went on with the call and said that so the two citations are out there under your name. They said that we have done a background check on you. The courts ran a background check on you. And we know you don't have anything on your name. That is correct. Okay. I have walked background checks up from the jury room to the judge's courtroom. You don't just walk in when you're called for jury duty on to be vardeered. you're sent up in sections when you're sent up to the courtroom. I have had to go out and get different individuals when the judges and the attorneys have special questions that they have to ask you. Okay, walking out into that lobby, you cannot give a sign of as a bailiff why you're walking out there, what you're going out there to get them for. The main thing is lessening fear. Okay, that judge runs his courtroom or her courtroom. So he again, the caller was correct as far as if I didn't show up for the grand jury and the judge has issued an order for them to go locate that person, that was correct. So I could, and it was odd to the caller that me, of all folks, could follow them on what they were saying. And my thing was, what are the citation numbers? What are the citations for? Okay, then he went on to say that um, a deputy came to your home and you signed a paper that you would be in court, okay, because it is important that they send you out a notice. It is important that you know that you're supposed to be on jury or in the grand jury or XYZ. And it is also a fact that most folks don't want to serve on jury duty, and especially the grand jury, because that's weeks. That's not just a few days. So he went on to tell me about they came to my house. Now, right there, I knew that wasn't the truth because I work in law enforcement. And at my house, a trained deputy sheriff, one or two of them have lived here, but one of them lives here. And that deputy sheriff would never, he's retired after 15 years and retired after 15 years of military. Very trained and knows what time it is. Never would they sign my name on anything. Never would they. So the next phase, he said, the caller, we have to verify your signature that you didn't do this. You didn't sign this. You didn't say that you would knew that you had to be in federal court and that you would be there. Well, he lost me right there, and because I know that that's not true. That they send you a notice just to serve on the grand jury. Everybody personally, a deputy sheriff comes to your house, make you sign a paper, and uh, and anyone that knows me knows that I believe in safety. Okay, and nobody would sign my name just because they want to sign my name. Okay, and so he assured me that a deputy sheriff had come to my house and let me know, gave me the date of when I was supposed to be in court, and that on Monday morning, December the 23rd, I did not show up in federal court for a grand jury, or he said court, I believe, for the grand jury. Well, I've worked both the grand jury and I've also worked trial court jury cases in the highest trial court. So we went on, and he went on to let me know that uh, Either we can send a deputy to your house and pick you up and bring you to the courthouse, to the sheriff department, where you have to sign off on these papers for us to verify your signature and to verify that you did not sign that paper. Then he went on to tell me that, what did he say? He went on to tell me that we also, not in the small part of his conversation, that you can come up here. I told him I have a car. I can drive there. I'm coming to you. I am coming to your sheriff department. He said that he went on with the technical part of it. And this is the part that concerned me. All of it concerned me. But did you know some senior, some older person that don't know no better, that know better, but that fear sits in, will hear this person and do what they're saying. He went on to say that after about 40 minutes or so, I told him I had to go to an appointment. He said that we have to keep your telephone on our phone tracking you, because then he talked about flight risk. That's what it's called, a flight risk person. Okay, if you have citations out against you and they're dealing with you through possible warrant processes, okay, and they're trying to locate you and find you, he said that they can track me. He was so good. He said, "Are you driving?" I had him on my car speakerphone. He said, "Pull over to the side." Okay. I mean, the person was very knowledgeable on the game they were playing, but I didn't know it was a game at that time. And so we went on, and he said that if you're headed to the sheriff department, I said, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you at the sheriff department. So many people have lost faith somewhat in your local law enforcement. Don't. It is so many steps in place for you to know and verify that they are your local law enforcement. It is so many bad names have gone out for good law enforcement. Folks are just afraid of them. So, and that's another reason that I'm sitting here and work for law enforcement and doing this video for you before day in the morning. So he went on to say, now he's turned the page. If you go to your local law enforcement office, okay, here it is on Christmas, they're going to have to retain you. They're going to have to hold you. They will have to hold you from 3 to so many days until that they can get a judge to hear your case. Remember, I told you they said they had 2 citations on me. To hear your case, and a lot of you will understand if they put a warrant out there for you, or if they got citations out there for you, if law enforcement stop you, okay, they have a job to do too. That's how so many people are stopped and locked up here and locked up there. So he said that if you go in, okay, they're going to have to retain you. I said, I replied, they're just going to have to retain me because I'm going to the police department. I'm going to the sheriff department. This person was so smart. They had the address, 185 Roswell Road. They knew the outline of the location of going into the sheriff department where I worked for close to 20 years. They knew that they would bring you in, bring you up to the window, and he said, take me to the second floor. Okay, which is the second floor. That was correct information. I could follow them. And I said, well, they're going to have to take me to the second floor. I'm going to the Cobb County Sheriff Department. I know where the headquarters is. I know where the court. I said, are you talking about courtroom D, the sheriff department on that floor? When I walked into the building, everybody knew me pretty much or knew of me. Um, so as we're getting it all set up, he said, if you go there, they're going to have to take you into custody. I replied, well, Lord have mercy. This Christmas, I'm going to be in jail. I'm going to the courthouse. I'm going to the sheriff department. My mind went back to a story. I can tell you thousands of stories because I've worked so much. I remember this preacher that was locked up, and I thought he was locked up for no insurance. And I thought to myself, and I said to him out at Wright Street Jail when I was doing ministry in jail ministry, well, maybe the Lord put you here. And he agreed because he had to minister in that jail at that time. Okay, so, and also know you ought to drive with your driver's license. You ought to have insurance on your vehicles. Insurance is important. So I could follow him there. And I had come to the conclusion, okay, I'm going to be in jail on Christmas. And because, as I told him, I'm coming to the police department, I'm coming to the sheriff department. I work at a location, I work at a place, and I like that little conference room that we have on the first floor. It is so comfortable and clean that you can go to the sheriff departments and they will sit down and talk to you. And that, in my head, all I saw was what I've worked in. I've saw the better part of what you've seen. So he said, um, I want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying to you. Um, and I said, I clearly understand what you're saying. I said, I even know the person that works over jury administration who, with me being turning 70 on my birthday, exempted me from jury duty. I was already sending that person an email while he's on the telephone saying, this person on the line said that you didn't exempt me from jury duty. He said federal court is different from regular court and being exempted from the higher trial courts in superior court and state court and juvenile court. And I'm saying, okay, but I'm going to the courthouse. I said, they'll tell me all of that when I get there. Okay. So he said, uh, I have to make sure that you understand. I'm going to have my captain, I'm going to put my captain on the line. Well, another call came in. Okay, and that was the captain. One person was uh, the captain had to be African American. The caller was a white man that called me. And so we go on, and the captain reinforced a little bit rude. Uh, well, if you go up there, they have to take you into custody. I said, when I go up there, I'm going to be calling everybody that I know. Okay. And they would just have to take me in custody. Now he gets to the gag order. He said that the judge issued a gag order, an M something on you. He gave me a few codes. He said, you cannot speak to anybody about this case. He said, you cannot speak to anybody about these citations. Well, you ought to know you can always get an attorney. You got to talk to an attorney. You have to get legal advice. And thank God. Oh, you don't know how I bless God. Thank God. I personally knew at least two judges that I made a call to. And I got to the one that I've worked down through the years for. And I said that he said that I cannot talk to nobody, that I cannot. And I told him, well, sir, you know, I told you I've already sent jury duty, the administrator, an email. Okay, because I know how to put my phone on hold and click over and send an email out right fast so that I can find out information too. Okay, if you were sent out to come and get me, well, that person already know about it, especially in Cobb County. They really don't just play, okay, in the offices. The people just don't play games to try to hurt folks. So we go on, and he said, if you come, now we've been on the phone an hour and a half. If you come, um, you have to be taken into custody. I told him I'm coming to the courthouse. So you just ought to be ready for me to come. Now he goes on. If you come onto federal property and you have citations against you, okay, their duty is to arrest you. Okay, bring you into custody, and you will sit there for until they can get you before a judge. And I'm thinking, Lord have mercy. Maybe they'll put me in a clean cell when they get me there and put me in a safe location. But I know that everybody go into the same population. Population means jail, the open population of the jail. And so I said, well, maybe they'll give me a good lunch or a dinner or whatever, and I have good food to eat on Christmas, maybe. But my mind was made up, is my point to you. Okay, I followed the legal stuff that he was saying, but everybody can't follow legal stuff. Everybody can't follow the legal voir dire process uh, uh, when you're selected for a jury. So the captain told me, and I could have swore that I knew that captain's voice. The captain told me that, oh, so be it. If you want to be arrested, and nobody gets smart like that with you, okay. And normally when you call in to check on a warrant, um, I've learned newer things with warrants now. Some things that's not my job, but they uh, normally don't tell you over the telephone if there's a warrant out for you. So as the reason our conversation was so long is I'm coming there. You're trying to convince me that if you go there, then he got to the point. He said that we can get your information over the phone, and that way, and he slowly said it, not aggressively, because you got to convince that person that you can put the bond up. You got two options. You can put up a bond, you can put up a cash bond. Okay, because these citations are out there and you're going to be arrested when you go up there. Well, my mind went back into the legal aspects of it. Well, I know a little bit about bonding. And so when you put in for a bond, if it's a property bond, which my mind had already gone there, call your sister. Okay. So when he's telling me you can't talk to nobody, okay, you do talk to people so that you can find out and you can have everything set up. He said, when I bring my car up there, and when you park the car, they're going to arrest, they're going to tow your car. I understand all of that. And them towing fees get to be high money. And I've had them to call and fuss at me that my tow bill was 2,000 and some dollars, but my car's sitting here. So all those things that you work through do come back to mind. I told you I was fortunate because I've worked in a lot of places and areas and helped a lot of people. So when he told me that, uh, when they tow your car, I already had my son on the line. Okay, that you may have to come and bring somebody with you to drive my car. I was going to the courthouse. I was going to the sheriff department. I know the Cobb County Sheriff, Craig Owens, and I know that he demands respect. I told him that I need to call my sheriff, Sheriff Pounds, at the Douglas County Sheriff Department. I work for them. They need to know what I'm up against right this minute. Okay, number one, because I'm to be at work on Thursday. I said I need to call. I thought about my lieutenants. I thought about my captains. My mind went back to safety. That's what my mind went to. Uh, I would tell them on me. And so he said, you have a gag order. You can't tell nobody what's going on. People, don't let folks tell you that. Your law enforcement is there for you. You can, and so my son was telling me, naturally, I've contacted it, that you can call mom and check. I said, no, I'm going to the Cobb County Courthouse. I'm going to the sheriff department. By this time, praise God, the judge called me. And when I say it's a diehard emergency, I don't just call just to, I can call and just ask how are you doing, but and it's right here at Christmas. But I called and said, no, this is a. He was with his wife. I'm saying, no, this is a diehard emergency. I told him what was going on, and he said to me, Mary, I know you going to that courthouse. I know you going to the sheriff department. He said, that's okay. He said, but I believe it's a scam that, but you can go. And when I got to the sheriff department, gave them my driver's license. They checked my records. They checked. Everybody was listening to my story. They was checking my license. They was checking the nice deputy. I met nice deputies coming through the gate. And we talked and I had some hugs. I said, no, I'm going to the courthouse. Now I know everybody haven't had the experience, sis, that I have had. But when I got there, told him what was what, and I didn't bring the paper in with me to be on this video, but I posted it. I was very impressed to see that they had a fraud and forgery unit with the FBI, and that you can uh, Google that number and file a report online. Okay, my thing was I'm coming to the sheriff department since that's where my warrant is supposed to be. And so when I got there, they gave me a copy of, he printed it for me, a copy of the paper. And I told him, I said, the judge told me it was okay, come on up here and talk to you all. And I did, because that judge would never tell me nothing wrong to do. I believe in my heart. And so I'm telling you this story is because most of you won't have the experience that I've worked through. Uh, and I've worked through the experience because I believe in safety. I told the persons on the telephone, I believe in law, and I'm not afraid to go to law. So I'm going to the courthouse. I'm going to the sheriff department. They were so perfected, the folks that talked to me, so convincing, so on target. They even knew the layout of our courthouse and where I had to go, where they would take me, uh, uh, up to the floor. They even knew, they knew everything. They were not dumb folks that talked to me. I knew the information that they knew. So finally, they said that you can do a bond, or you would have to, you can pay a cash bond, and you wouldn't have to turn yourself into the law. Well, I've been a single parent. I've had to work for a living. I've had to, at 70 years old, I'm still working. And you're not going to get my money that easy. Okay, I'm not going to just give you my numbers. I don't even like applying for things online because things have gotten so bad. So he's saying, and I'm thinking, well, you can't put a property bond up over the telephone. You got to go into an office to put a property bond. My mind was right back. I'm going to the courthouse. I'm going to the sheriff department. And folks would have you to think that you're turning yourself in by going to the sheriff department. They're going to arrest you. If they're going to arrest you and they want you, they're going to get you anyway. Okay, maybe you won't think it the way I thought it. And so I'm saying right there is where it got my attention. And I'm saying, but you can't take a bond over the telephone. You must show up if you got all of what you got on me in person. You must show up. And so he even offered to send a deputy sheriff to my house. People, when sheriffs come to your house, they're going to come with a uniform. Don't let the uniform just throw you either, because folks do it anyway. We remember the missing and murdered children. Okay, a lot of those children trusted who picked them up. Okay, it could have been law enforcement. We don't know. But they're going to give you their card. The sheriff departments give cards to their deputies. They have a card to fill out to identify themselves. I know the scammer do too. Okay. And you have a right to call your local law enforcement to get an understanding of everything they say. I had them to give me the citation numbers. I wrote them down, and sometimes they was talking fast over the phone, and I told, as I said to them, slow down so I can get it. I'm writing. I want to know the judge's name that you just told me that issued these citations on me. And this the last part of what will get you is the gag order. You're gonna believe them. I can talk to nobody. I can tell nobody what is going on. You can always hire an attorney. You can always call your local law enforcement office. If there's something out on your name and it has come through, the sheriff department is the highest in your land. And the sheriff department is different from the courthouse. They run that sheriff department. And if your name is in the system, they got it. They have it. So you can always call them. We have to teach this to even the children. We have to teach them, don't be afraid to run to law enforcement, the right law enforcement, and tell them if somebody is harming you, messing with you in the schools, in extra activities. Is a lot of times where you hear children that parents just trust so much they don't pay attention to the children. You got to pay attention. I've worked tons of cases for one of the highest profile judges in the nation, where they did so many cases going up I-75, I-20. I work with a lot of folks that work those areas. Never feel scared to go to your law enforcement office and let them know there's always a deputy on the front desk that knows the law. Those deputies are trained in the law. The churches must teach it. That's why I don't believe in a separation of church and state. Okay, we should have folks in our churches to teach who's in the churches. He said, the poor will be with me always. Who's in the churches? Those that they like to scam. This could have been a very, very messed up situation. This is the time of year. I worked banking 25 years. We were trained. You watch for them seniors. You watch for them coming in, taking out large sums of money. You watch for them with people coming with them. And a lot of bankers now are trained, they're going to call a caregiver to say that your mom or your dad is in here pulling out $5,000 or $6,000. It is so many techniques that have been trained and put out there for workers to watch for you, even when you're not watching for yourself. As I end, and I'm ending, I did go to my local sheriff department. I did tell y'all know I told them everything that happened. I did go. Thank God I went. Thank God that I did not give. First thing the judge asked, did you give him any money, Mary? I did not give him my debit cards, my banking account information. I did not give it to him. I was not going to wire it to them. And I wondered, as I have had to call deputies to take reports, I first have to listen to it to know where to send them to.